What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this GH review, this GH episode. Wow. This was an amazing episode, I will say. I enjoyed it thoroughly. The 56th anniversary of GH. I thought they did an amazing job with this episode. I really, really did. But I just want to say, before, because I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to read a whole bunch of comments from people saying, well, Franco shouldn't have been a part of this. Sonny shouldn't have been a part of this. Carly shouldn't have been. I can see why certain people were a part of this. People probably going to say Julian shouldn't have been a part of this. I could see why they were. You know what I'm saying? I see your complaints, but I also see why they were included, if you think about it. Sonny and Carly over the years have donated boatloads of money to the hospital. They created wings, all type of stuff like the pediatric wing. Sonny, created the Stone Capes wing of the hospital. All type of stuff. Like they've donated, they've given to the hospital over the years. And that's what's important. You know what I'm saying? Because you got most people who got millions and millions and millions of dollars, even in real life, who are stingy with their money. They don't give. They're not very charitable, but these people are. You got people out there that are charitable. So I can understand why they're a part of it. Franco being a part of it, I totally get it. Even though Gail didn't technically meet Franco, she knew of Franco. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't really, Gail just wanted people to get together. That's really what I love the whole idea of the scavenger hunt because it brought people together. You know what I'm saying? And it come to find out there was really no agenda behind it. There was an agenda, but there wasn't. They thought that they were looking for something specific, like there were a letter or something that she wrote them individually, maybe. But no, it wasn't nothing in those envelopes but confetti. That's all that was in the envelopes was some confetti, which made it even more perfect because that's what Gail wanted. It's about togetherness. It's about cherishing, the people around you, mending relationships that are, at a mess right now. You know what I mean? And quite a few of them have a couple of relationships that's a mess. So I understand why Gail did what she did. It's about togetherness, and, just appreciating what you got and who you have in your life. You know what I'm saying? Fixing old wounds, healing old wounds. That's really what it was about. But I will say I love these anniversary shows because you get to see a lot of the vets, with each other, and they get to go down memory lane and talk about all the crazy and wild stuff that they did back in the 70s, the 60s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. They just get to go back and just reminisce. You know what I'm saying? And I love the scene with Monica and Leslie, where they were in the locker room, which used to be the old cafeteria, because Gail gave them all blueprints of what the hospital, old floor plans of the hospital from 56 years ago, from when GH first started. So obviously a lot has changed in 56 years. Like the locker room is where the old cafeteria used to be. Scott was sitting where the old exam room used to be. It's crazy how much has changed. But I love the scene with Monica and Leslie where they were snarking and sniping at each other. Leslie calling Monica all type of sluts. And it's crazy because I remember a few years ago, her and Monica buried the hatchet. But I'm like, I already knew those two. They could say that they buried the hatchet, but you could see it ain't all the way buried. They just continuously snipe at each other. I love the scene with Monica and Lucy. Of course, Lucy is in the room with all her former nurses' ball gowns from years past, and it was hilarious. But I respect what Lucy was gonna do though. She's gonna donate all of her nurses' gown balls, and the proceeds are gonna go towards this year's nurses' ball because that's coming up in May. I think early May, from what I heard. I think May 5th or something like that. I think it's early May. So I'm looking forward to this year's nurses' ball. I'm always looking forward to the nurses' ball. I love it every year. Seeing the musical numbers, everybody all dressed up to the nines. Nurses' Ball is one of my favorite times of year on this show. I love it. Everybody's all dressed up. You get to see people performing. One of my favorite Nurses Ball, I think, was 2014, I want to say. When Kiki Jerome and, when Kristen Alderson was playing her and Kiki was doing the whole Pink song and stuff, Raise Your Glass. I love that. When Luke was Fluke and all of that stuff and he performed, I love that. That was like one of my favorite Nurses Balls. Everybody, I just love it because everybody's dancing, having a good time. But anyway, so yeah, Lucy was basically apologizing, for stuff that she did in the past regarding Alan and Monica and stuff. Monica's big-hearted. She was like, you know what? Past is the past. It's water on a bridge. I love how they can talk about things from back in the day that pissed them off back then, but they can laugh about it now. That's what, that's the old saying. Like, we just gonna laugh about this in the future and stuff like that because it's true. Stuff that happened back in the day, a lot of it you could just look back on it and laugh because it was when they were younger and they were acting childish and, a bunch of high schoolers, acting like children basically. Scheming and plotting and all that. That was back in their youthful days. So now that they're older, they're a little wiser. Well, a lot wiser in some cases. And, they not with the foolishness no more. Some of them. I love the conversation that Felicia and Bobby had, though. Talking about, how, sadly, the whole BJ dying and her giving up the, her heart to Maxie and stuff like that, and how GH saved, if they couldn't save both of them, at least they saved one of them. I love that scene. It was heartwarming. It was touching. My boy Mac coming through with the black pepper sandy beard now. I said, all right, Mac. All right. You got the beard growing in, bruh. Him and Maxie talking and Maxie basically thanking him for, being there for her and stuff like that and letting her get that surgery, I guess, that removed the scar because she didn't want to be known in school or whatever the case may be as, the heart girl, the heart transplant girl or something like that. I have tremendous amount of respect for Mac because like I said about Franco, it takes a big man to step up and be a surrogate parent for children that are not his. You know what I'm saying? So I have tremendous respect for that, especially Mac. You see how Franco stepped up for 3 boys that weren't his. Mac basically stepped up for 3 girls that wasn't his. The reason I say 3 is because I put Robin in that category too, because he basically helped raise Robin too, for a period of time. He was there for her as well as a surrogate parent. You know what I mean? So he stepped up for Georgie, he stepped up for Maxie, he stepped up for Robin. I respect that wholeheartedly. I have nothing but respect for that. For any man who can step up and do that. I have respect for women also who can step up and be a surrogate mother or a stepmother or whatever the case may be to children that are not theirs. You know what I'm saying? I have respect for that. If you can step up and be a parent to children that are not yours and, my hat's off to you because you got biological parents out there who don't want to do it. And, they sit there, they have these kids and they don't want to step up and do it, handle their responsibility. And, it takes a really special person or people to step up and take responsibility for children that are not theirs. You know what I'm saying? That's not their responsibility. I respect that. And Mac has always been the MVP type of parent. You know what I mean? Frisco dropped the ball and stuff. But like he said, those people who didn't want to step up for their kids is their loss because they missed out on, raising some amazing kids, which is true, And Mac had that privilege and that honor of raising Maxie and Georgie and helping to raise Robin. So hats off to him. I also love the scene between Bobby and Scott and stuff like that. The scenes that I've seen with Bobby and Scott and Lucy, let me tell you something. The chemistry is still there. Scott could be with either one of them and I would be happy with it. You know what I'm saying? I definitely seen a lot of chemistry, especially the looks that he was giving Lucy and Lucy was giving him. I was like, okay, I see you. So basically Lucy was helping Kevin find his envelope and stuff like that. I really am glad that Kevin set the record straight with Lucy. He let her know under no uncertain terms. He was like, yeah, we're friends. But he said, let me not sugarcoat. Let me be clear. we're not getting back together in the future. We're not getting back together now. My heart now belongs to Laura. I love Laura. He made that abundantly clear. And I think it finally hit Lucy. It finally hit her. Because when they went to the chapel and Laura was in the chapel and Lucy handed Kevin his envelope, she told him, you're where you're supposed to be. I feel like I think she was coming to terms. That was her way of coming to terms with the fact that her and Kevin are officially done. Because it's obvious that she held out hope that she would get back with him. It was clear. Everybody could see that. She was hoping to get back with him. You know what I'm saying? But I think she finally realized that they're officially done. And there's nothing she can say or do to get back with him romantically. That romantic part of their relationship has been done for years now. And he was letting her know. And I think she finally came to the realization he's serious. Like, we're really, really done. My whole thing is, though, and I said this years ago about their divorce. We can blame Lucy all we want for the divorce because she did have an affair with Scott during that time. But Kevin also shares the brunt of that, because not excusing her cheating, because there's no excuse for it, but she did make plenty of effort to spend time with Kevin. Kevin just never had no time for her. He was always focused on his patients and work and work and work and more work. And she put in the effort to spend time with her husband. He just kept blowing her off. So, you know, if you're not spending time with your mate, what do you expect him to do? You know, at some point, you know, I mean, yeah, she was dead wrong for cheating, you know, but she's tried and tried and tried and tried. And he kept not making himself available. So he played a part. It takes two to divorce. You know, it takes two to end a marriage. So we can't just always blame her for that. He played a part in that too, you know, because they're at a particular age where your work life should slow down a little bit. That's why I feel like married people, even people who are in a relationship, just boyfriend and girlfriend, you know, date night is very much needed. I'm going to tell you that to sustain a relationship, especially when you have children or busy careers. You have to have a date night, at least, if not once a week, at least twice a week, at least if you can squeeze it in, because that's very important to do. I'm going to tell you that right now. Very important. Because if not, you're going to lose sight of yourselves. You're going to lose sight of your relationship. And that's how things deteriorate over time, because you're not spending that QT time, that quality time. So you got to put that in there. That played a part in Lucy and Kevin divorcing, because they weren't spending any quality time. But I'm glad that she came to the realization that that marriage is done. You know, it's about time. And I hope that she finds happiness with somebody else. If not Scott, then somebody else. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if Kevin and Laura, you know, got back together and stuff, because it's clear that Laura still loves him. She's in love with him. That's why she's hesitant about signing those divorce papers. And he made it clear he's still in love with her. But I think, you know, they're probably waiting for him to go through this little criminal trial real quick and see what the outcome is before they make a major decision about their marriage. And of course, I always love the scene between Leslie and Laura. Always love their scenes together. And how much, you know, she's proud of her daughter. I mean, look at her. She came a long way, you know. I mean, look at Laura. She's now the mayor of Port Charles. You know, Leslie was so proud of her. She's always been proud of her. And Laura has always been proud of her mother. You know, like she said, she was always so happy and proud that she can say her mother's a doctor, you know, and she's always been a strong role model for her, you know. So I'm glad they got that strong mother-daughter relationship and stuff, you know. I did love the scenes, actually. It was kind of funny seeing Julian and Alexis walking down the stairs and stuff. And the way Julian was kind of walking up on Alexis, and she was looking at Julian like, what are you doing? All he was doing was getting the envelope from underneath that picture thing, that frame. She thought he was trying to make moves on her. I'm like, Alexis, calm yourself. And it's so funny because she keep telling Julian, oh, I made it abundantly clear we're not getting back together. We're done. Like, who are you trying to convince, Alexis? Him or you? Because you can tell when somebody trying to convince themselves of something when they got to keep repeating it over and over. Oh, we're done. We're not doing this. We're not doing. Who are you trying to convince? Clearly, you're trying to convince yourself, because it's obvious you're still in love with him. Because not only have you been talking about Julian through your therapy sessions all the time, but you even told Gail about you and Julian. Like, she kept confiding in Gail about it. Because remember, she's been Gail's attorney for the last 5 years. So, of course, Gail knows about their relationship. Alexis, you might as well go ahead, sit Julian down and tell him how you really feel about him. You might as well go ahead and tell him you want him back. You want to be Mrs. Jerome again. You might as well go ahead and tell him. Ain't no sense to keep lying to him or yourself. The truth shall set you free. I'm just saying. But I also love the scenes between Elizabeth and Bobby and stuff like that. Liz was basically saying, her grandmother was a big part of the reason she became a nurse, and Bobby was also a part of the reason she became a nurse. I love their scenes together, And I also love the scene that she had with Epiphany, because she was like, even though Bobby and her grandmother Audrey were a big part of her becoming a nurse, it was Epiphany who taught her how to be a nurse. You know what I'm saying? I love that whole friendship that they got. You know what I mean? And Epiphany, in my opinion, people like Alan and Monica and, Bobby and all them people, Leslie, they've all were the heart of GH and stuff like that for many years. But I could definitely add Epiphany to that too. Epiphany is a big part of that hospital as well. She has become a big part of that hospital over the years. Definitely has. So has Elizabeth. Elizabeth, she's been putting in her time at the hospital too. So all of these people are a big piece of that hospital. I love the scene between Scott and, Franco and stuff like that. Franco basically admitted, he finally admitted that he never really tried to put in the effort as far as like his relationship with Scott, because he always just expected Scott to be there for him and stuff as his dad, but he never put in the effort with Scott, as far as like having dinners with him or having him over for dinner, stuff like that. And Scott admitted that he did the same thing with Gail and Lee, because when you're a child, you just expect, it don't matter how old you are, you just always expect your parents to be there because they're your safety net. You know what I'm saying? They're just there, to give you advice and comfort you and be there for you like a safety net all the time. Bail you out if you get into some trouble, and that's what you expect. But you also got to put in that work, to spend time with them, because you got to cherish that time, because you never know how long you got with them or with anybody for that matter. And that was the whole point of this whole situation that Gail set up with the scavenger hunt. Cherish the people that's in your life. Time is definitely not forever, and people are not going to be on this earth forever. So you got to put in that work to spend time with them. So I definitely love that scene between Franco and Scott, especially them hugging and stuff like that. That was a cool scene. And of course, Sonny and Laura, I did like their scene. Laura was pretty honest with Sonny. She was like, back in the day, she knew Sonny was trouble with a capital T. But, she also sees another side of Sonny, that generosity, he's a cool person inside, you know what I mean? Like, he's not this ruthless, heartless person that some people may think he always is. You know what I'm saying? Some people might see it as Sonny worshipping or whatever like that, but it's really not. I mean, everybody got different sides to them. I think we all got like probably two sides to us. We got that good side, and if you cross us, we got that side where you don't want to cross us because we can be ruthless. I think everybody has that in them. You know what I'm saying? You might not think you do, but trust me, you have it in you. It just probably ain't never pop out because ain't nobody try you like that. But we all do. Even I do. I mean, we all do. If you try somebody, trust me, that side gonna come out. Best believe. So, of course, Carly had to tell Bobby about her pregnancy and stuff like that. I'm like, Carly, you ain't got to announce it to the world. Not everybody care. But yeah, I could honestly see why Sonny is, I think deep down Sonny is happy about the baby, but on the outside, it's like he doesn't want to show it. Because I think Carly hit it dead on the head. Like, he doesn't want to get attached to this child because what if something go wrong and they lose this baby? Or, something happened, kind of like with Morgan and stuff like that. Yeah, they had years with Morgan, but that was definitely cut short. You know what I mean? Definitely. So I could kind of understand that. But this was such an amazing episode. It was so well done. Curtis, of course, him and Stella were a part of it, because they were talking about Jordan wanting to go to Mercy Hospital, but they felt like she should stay at GH because it's the best possible medical care she can get. And of course, Curtis wanted to thank Laura for not sidelining Jordan as police commissioner. I'm going to have to be honest. Jordan, I know I said this a billion times, but Jordan, I don't know. they need to write her differently. Like, she need to be more competent if she want to be police commissioner. I'm just saying, because they're not writing her to my liking. They're not writing her to my liking. I just wish she was more competent as a police commissioner. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a mess. But anyway, I also love the flashbacks that they showed of Lucy and everybody from back in the day, and I love it. I just loved it. I love anniversary shows, the best. But anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about the episode, and I'll see you all later. Have a great day.